Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so Venerable Sangha, Syales and dear Dhamma friends. So we'll resume our discussion on the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna, right? So in the last week we started discussing about the Hetu-Paccaya, right? So we started discussing the Hetu-Paccaya, the root condition, and in the root condition we went through the the enumerations, right? The enumerations we discussed, and up to a certain degree we discussed some Pali, right, which is in these sentences, and also we discussed about the analytical states, right? So we discussed about these analytical states too. Yes.
尊敬的僧团，尊敬的各位贤友，大家晚上好。今天呢，我们将继续开始学习古斯拉迪卡善三法发趣的第5课。在上一周，我们一起探讨了有关于因缘它的缘法、缘力，以及呢，缘法、缘所生法以及缘力的相关内容。我们也具体的分析了在因缘之中所呈现出的究竟法的内容。
Okay, so there were a couple of questions from the Chinese group, which Brother JJ, he translated the questions, right? He communicated these questions for us, right? So one of these questions is that there is a request to revisit and explain the Chitta and Cetasika mentioned in the lessons, probably when pointing out the analytical states. So I understand this request as a very a kind request, a noble one, to learn this Dhamma. Now, but we have to understand that in this stage, in this course, it is not possible for to do, right? To discuss about the separate Chitta and Cetasikas, because the Paṭṭhāna is the study. It's from the last treatise of the Abhidhamma. So the basic knowledge, it comes from wherever you study the Abhidhamma Sangha or related literature. So if we start discussing this, then it's we will never be able to learn this Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. So once you have a good base, then it's better to go ahead with this course. And if you have enough time to do a self-study, maybe have a discussion, a group discussion or something like that, then in that case, then you can work on this and continue with this course. So yes.
那在群里面呢，我们收集了一些的问题，这些呢都是由我们中国的贤友们提出，然后这些贤友帮助翻译成为英文。那这里的第一个问题呢，就有提到，那这位贤友呢，他请求能够进一步的去再次解释有关于在课上所提到的相关的心和心所的内容。那么老师呢，他回答说，那这个问题呢，所涉及到的这些心跟心所的内容呢，是十分的重要的。但是呢，我们没有办法在现在所展开的发趣的课程当中去进行详细的解释。为什么呢？因为我们现在正在学习的发趣法，它是来自于阿毗达摩论的最后一部论，也就是第7部的论，它是一部大论。那心和心所的这些内容呢，它是属于相对最为基础的阿毗达摩的这个底层的内容。那它呢是来自于第1部论法纪论当中的内容。如果我们想要去学习发趣论的时候，却并没有掌握好心跟心所，这是不可能很好学习的。所以像这些基础性的工作呢，大家是要自己在课后先去努力的把它们学好。 如果说这些内容没有学好呢，我们现在在教导大家的发区论的内容呢，也是没有办法，很好的理解的。
So by this, I'm not in any form, not discouraging you to continue with this course, right? So please understand that, right? I'm not discouraging you all to do this course, right? Now this is really the third time I'm teaching the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. The first 2 times I have taught in Sinhalese, in my language, and to monks, all of them, right? So I taught them. So this is my third time. So with my experience, so I will share some experiences. So one is that when some of the monks, when the students, when they join the class, in the previous 2 occasions, some of their Abhidhamma knowledge was not very good. Not very good. The basics were not very good, right? But they had enough attitude, enough dedication, and then when I was doing the course, they suddenly pick up all. I mean, they did not do it suddenly, really. That with a lot of dedication and a lot of work, they worked on the backlog and kind of gain that knowledge on wherever they were missing out. So with that kind of dedication, with that kind of a good attitude and quality work, we can do, right? So some of those students, they even though in the beginning even the basics were not very good, they were able to continue the course and finish and understand everything without much issues. So it can be done, of course, right? I'm not totally, I'm not discouraging you to continue this course, right? So please think in that way. So so if you don't work, then it's not going to happen. And the other thing is that even though if you have good Abhidhamma knowledge, like the basics, if your basics are, even though the basics are good, if you don't follow the classes properly and do the studies and all, so it's not going to help, right? I mean, after some time, maybe after 3 weeks, maybe after a couple of months, then you will realize, well, this is not for me, right? So the real reason, it's not the real reason. The real reason is that it's the amount of, it's about the dedication how you are putting. Let's say, for example, so most of the time, the classes when I did it, I did it for monks. So in the monastery. So when I was teaching them like 1 to 2 hours per day, right? So mostly 1.5 hours, sometimes 1 hour. So then I asked how many hours that you are working, like my contact hours, the number of contact hours per day was like 1 to 2 hours with the monks. And so sometimes I asked them how many hours that you, and I taught them every day, like 6 days per week. I taught them. So I asked how many hours that you are putting in to this study after the class. Then some of them say like we have some monks, they gather and have a group discussion, and sometimes they say like it goes for 2-3 hours, right? Sometimes. So if it's really like if you study for 1 hour, then on average they will be doing their self-study, the reading and all the whatever their own study for more than 2 hours, right, per day, because they were doing the classes like 6 days per week. So but I'm telling, so the monks who did not have that kind of dedication, and they could not understand, and halfway down the course they left the course. And the irony is that in all of this situation, I told them, like, when before it happens, I predicted this is going to happen to you. So but it's not, it sometimes the people do not take that advice, and then they could not learn it properly. So so please have all these details in your mind. So I'm not trying to make you afraid of this course, but I'm really trying to make you all understand how deep it is going to be and how much dedication you need to have. And on the other hand, we have to understand with that work, with the dedication, you are going to develop your wisdom, the wisdom on our master's Dhamma. So that's the best thing about it, right? So the wisdom, that is the parami that we are fulfilling, right? So when you please have this attitude and understanding in this during this course.
好，那老师呢刚刚有提到，如果说大家连最基础的心语心所的内容还没有掌握，那并不是特别的建议大家呢去学习这个课。为什么这么说呢？因为这已经是老师第3次教导善散法的法句论的内容。那之前的2次呢，都是给寺院当中的出家人进行教导的。根据老师的经验，当学生上课的时候，如果他们的阿毗达摩的基础并不是很好，但是呢，他们却很努力的愿意花费时间去学习，在上课的同时，他们也在课后把需要去补上的知识点给补充上，把漏掉的补充上。那经过这个样子很努力的学习，即使他们的基础不是特别好，也能够跟上整个的课程。那并不是不建议大家，不来上这个课，而是呢，如果我们不努力是没有办法学好它的。即便有着不错的阿毗达摩的基础，如果不能够很好的跟着上好每一节课，那过了一段时间，几周或几个月之后呢，也会发现这样的学习呢是不适合自己的，会掉队的。那之前呢，老师在寺院教学的时候，平均每一天要教1到1个5小时，1到1个半小时。那每个礼拜呢，7天呢有6天的时间都上课，每一天甚至也会问学生们，你们花费多少时间在课后学习？那他们回答说，大概需要2到3个小时。那大于2个小时的时间呢，自己呢用来去进行课后的学习是需要的。那如果说不努力不上课呢，老师呢在刚开始上课的时候已经提过，将不能够很好的完成这个内容的学习，并不是让大家害怕这个课程的学习，而是让大家明白需要付出一定的努力才可以。那当然了，我们也应当了解到这部分的内容呢，它包含着深深的佛陀的智慧。如果我们可以努力的付出努力来去学好它呢，我们的智慧一定是可以获得增长的。
Okay, so the second question was it's about the Dhammas we were discussing. Why are all the paccayuppanna in dative form, right? So the paccayuppanna, the condition states, right?
Mm.
So the question is that why all the condition states are in dative form. So we'll have to go through this sentence, right? So this is the table that we analyzed. Right. So this is a table that we analyzed. So so the question is from this column, right? On the Paccayuppanna, right? So in this column, the question is on that column. So the Paccayuppanna, right? So the Paccayuppanna. So if you look at this in grammatically, this sentence, this is in dative case, right? So oh, what happened? Okay, so this is in dative case, right? This is in dative case. And so in Pali, the dative case, it indicates a receiver in a I mean, if you look at in a sentence, it indicates of a receiver, a person who is receiving something, right? A person who is receiving something, a recipient, right? You can say it's a receiver, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So this indicates a receiver, a person who is receiving something. You can call it a recipient. So like if you say now when we recite, right? So when you are paying homage to the Buddha, we recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, right? So the word Tassa, it's a Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddha. So it takes all these words. It express some qualities of the Buddha, and all of these words, the phrase, it is in dative case, which means that we pay homage to the Buddha, which means the Buddha is receiving our homage, right? So that the receiver, that's in dative case. So in the same case with here, right? In the conditioned state, which means that there is a conditioning state, and this conditioning state is because of this conditioning state, another set of dhammas arise, right? They are being supported by another set of dhammas. So that set of dhamma, which is the conditioned states, the paccayuppanna, it becomes a recipient, right? It becomes a recipient kind. So that kind of a thing, because it's the result, right? So that's why it is it's in dative case.
那第二个问题，为什么在这里的所有的原生法，它们的格位都是语格或者说目的格呢？我们可以看到，在这个表格之中的第三列，所有的原生法它们的格位呢都是语格。在巴利语之中，语格这个格位呢，它表达的是接受者，也就是接受什么，来自于某些地方、某些人的东西的接受者。那比如说我们通常讲的礼敬佛陀三称的这个礼敬文，那么这个礼敬文的内容呢，就有提到南无大萨巴嘎瓦多阿拉哈多萨玛三菩大萨。那在这里的南无之后的大萨巴嘎瓦多等等的内容呢，他们呢表达了佛陀的品质，都是语格。因为呢，我们为了表示呢，我们礼敬佛陀，而佛陀呢是对于我们的礼敬的接受者，所以呢，在这里他们的格位呢都用语格来去表示。而在这个表格当中，我们看到的原法的内容呢，它相当于是发送者，原生法呢则是原法力量的接受者，所以说是。
Okay, so okay, so we'll move into the lesson, right? So now we start this the Connaughton small classification, right? Classification means the Vibhanga, right? Vibhanga Pali, there is this table. So these kind of tables we find in the study of the Paṭṭhāna in the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. These tables, they are compiled by Burmese shadows. So the reason for it is to understand the Pali easily, right? Because in the Pali there are patterns, right? In Paṭṭhāna, in most of the Abhidhamma treatises, like there are certain patterns in Dhammas, right? So if to memorize them easily, the shadows have compiled these tables. So we will be learning this table for the Connaughton small classification. Like this is the table for all the 7 paccayas in the Connaughton small group.
那我们现在来看到，我们接下来呢，来开展我们今天的学习。现在我们看到的这个表格呢，它是来自于 句声小组的分别品为班嘎巴利。那在我们现在学习的古斯拉迪嘎善三法的发趣之中呢，在过去有缅甸的大长老，他们呢对于经文的内容进行了整理。那这是为了让大家能够更好的来去理解，巴利经文它的行文的方式。那透过像这样子的表格的梳理呢，我们将能够直观的看到经文是如何展现出来的。在这里呢，比如说我们现在看到的这个表，将能够很直观的展现出，所构成的七组的原法跟原所生法构成的关系。
So now we study them together. Okay, so I have shared the screen. This is for the Pali, right? This is for the Pali, and this is the table that we are studying, right? So I will guide you on how to refer it, right? So we are for the root condition for the hetu paccaya. So the Pali, we know the Pali comes as kusalo dhammo kusalassa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccaya. So this is the opening sentence, right? So that we have to use this table to memorize it, right? So again, we need to know a little bit of Pali and I mean the patterns of it. So here the Pali, it comes, the term is indicated here as ku, right? Kusalo. And so this is kusalo dhammo, and the term ending is kusalasa, right? The term ending is kusalasa, kusalo dhammo, kusalasa dhammasa. Then so this part is connected, right? Kusalo dhammo, kusalasa dhammasa, and then here we have the hetu paccayena paccaya, which is in the instrumental case, right? So that you have to connect it from here, which is from this column, instrumental column. So you have to, now here you see it's paccayena paccayo, like that. So you have to add the hetu, right? Because we are in the hetu paccaya, so we add the hetu here. So when we recite it and memorize it, so kusalo dhammo, right? So we have to add the word dhammo, kusalo dhammo, then kusalasa dhammasa. Then you have to, thirdly, you have to add the instrumental, right? Instrumental case, instrumental phrase, hetu paccayena paccayo, like that. So that's how you fill the first one, right?
好，现在呢，我们可以看到，老师呢在这里左边展示的是巴利的经文的内容，右边呢则是我们如何去根据表格来去理解巴利的经文内容。那在黑度巴这要因缘的第一句当中呢，他提到古萨鲁达摩、古斯拉萨达玛萨、黑度巴这那巴这优。那我们对应到这个表格当中可以看到，针对于这第一句，也就是它的原法和原所生法都是善法的情况当中呢，这里呢，因为原法的内容是故萨洛，那也就是呢，我们在表格当中看到的语词是以故来去表示，那它的语词结尾呢，也是故，在这两者的基础之上呢，我们对于前面的故加上达摩，对于后面的这个故呢加上达玛瑟，于是呢就有了故萨洛达摩、故斯拉萨达玛瑟，然后再加上句格的内容。因为我们现在在谈论的是黑度把这优是因缘的内容，所以呢，我们在最后再加上黑度把这耶呢把这优，那像这样呢，就构成了有关于因缘的第一个对应形态的的方法的解释。
Right. So what we did here was the Vidhi Pali, right? I hope that you all can remember last week we gave this name, right? The opening sentence, the summarizing sentence as Vidhi Pali. So what we did was the Vidhi Pali, and now we'll do the Anuvada Pali, right? Anuvada Pali is the following sentence which explains the first, which explains the summary, which expands the summary, right? So here we have kusala hetu sampayuttakanang khandanang hetu paccayena paccayo. So this part is the Anuvada Pali. So this is the Anuvada Pali. right? So now we'll refer to this table and get the answer, right? So now in this column we have the anuvada, right? The anuvada here. So we can get kusala hetu, because with the hetu pacha, the conditioning states it's hetu, right? The hetu dhammas, the uh, the uh, the non-greed, non-hatred, and the non-delusion, the wisdom, right? So kusala hetu sampayuttakanang khandana, right? You see it here, right? Kusala hetu, right? Kusala hetu. Then you have the sampayuttakanang khandana. This Pali is here, right? Sampayuttakanang khandana. Then again you have to go to the final column, which is the instrumental phrase hetu paccayena paccayo, like that.
那在经文当中的下一句呢，则是阿努瓦达巴里，也就是随说巴里，它也是对于前面的方法巴里的进一步的解释。在表格当中，我们应当对应看到的是原法和原所生法的内容。那这里的原法的内容呢是古萨拉，也就是呢古萨拉黑都，而原所生法的内容呢则是语格，它的内容呢是三巴尤达嘎南达玛那坎达南。好，那有了这样的对应关系之后呢，最后我们在结尾再加上句格，同样的加上因缘之后呢，就是一度把这言呢把这有。
Right. Okay. So now we move into the second one, right? Second answer. Start with here. Kusalo dhammo abhyakatassa dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So we start from here, right? Kusalo dhammo. We have the abhyakata here, right? So it's indicated by bya, right? It does not have abya. The a is locked. The sound the letter a has been elided, so it's bya, right? So kusalo dhammo abhyakatassa dhammassa. Then we connect it to this one, hetu paccayena paccayo. So that is for the Vidhi Pali. And for the Anuvada Pali, kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang hetu paccayena paccayo. Kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang hetu paccayena paccayo. Right, so get kusala hetu chitta samuttananang rupanang, then you connect it here, right? Hetu paccayena paccayo, like that. So this is the second one.
好，我们来看一下下一句，在下一句之中呢，它的对应关系是古比亚。在经文当中呢，我们可以看到，即是古萨罗达摩阿比亚格达萨达玛萨，一度把这耶呢把这尤。那这里呢，它的语词是古，就是善，它的语词结尾呢则是比亚。那实际上呢，我们将无忌呢，称之为是阿比亚格达，但是这里的开头的啊进行了省略，所以呢，只是在表格当中我们看到的比亚无忌。那按照相同的这个语句的构成的逻辑，在前面的咕后面呢要加上咕萨洛达摩，在语词结尾呢阿比亚嘎达瑟后面呢加阿阿比亚嘎达瑟后面呢再加上达玛瑟，最后呢再加上句格一度巴吉那巴吉优。那同样的，随说巴利呢则是用原法加上原生法再加上句格而构成。那在这里呢，它的原法呢仍然是古萨拉黑都，那它的原所生法呢，则是对应到第二行，对新生出色 jida samutanam lubanam，再加上句格黑都把这些呢把这有，这是第二句。
Now we move into the third one. Right? I'll erase this first one. Right. So now we move to the third one. Third one is kusalo dhammo kusalassacha abhyakatassacha dhammasa hetu paccayena paccayo. So it includes two types, right? So kusalo dhammo, we discussed about this last week, right? Kusalo dhammo, the kusala wholesome phenomena, and for the conditioned states, there are two types, right? Kusalassa and Abhyakatassa, right? So you have to read at Kusalassa cha, Abhyakatassa cha. So when you are making the Pali from here, so you have to included the cha, right? So in Pali, the cha, it means this indeclinable particle. It has the meaning of and also, like that, right? So kusalassa cha abhyakatassa. So there are two types. So when you are making the Pali based on this, so kusalo dhammo kusalassa cha abhyakatassa cha dhammasa hetu paccayana paccayo. So like that you have to make it. And then we have the Anuvada Pali. Then we have Kusala Hetu Sampayuttakanang Kahandanang Chitta Samuthananang Rupanang Hetu Paccayana Paccayo. Right? So we get the Kusala Hetu. Here we have the Sampayuttakanang Kahandanang and Chitta Samuthananang Rupanang. Here also we have the term cha, right? Chitta Samuthananang Rupanang Hetu Paccayana Paccayo. Then you connect it here to the instrumental phrase.
接下来我们看一下第三句。那第三句呢，首先方法巴利的文句呢是Kusalo Dhammo Kusalattika Abhyakatassa Dhammasa Hetu Paccayana Paccayo。好，那在这里呢，它的语词呢仍然是就是Kusalo Dhammo。那它的语词结尾呢则是比亚，那它是这两者的结合。那因为呢它包含了两个部分，所以在巴利文之中呢，我们看到在提到布萨拉萨和阿比亚盖达萨之间呢，它需要加上巴利文扎呢，它是不变助词，表示也或者是和，所以呢，在经文之中呢，我们需要在这两者之间呢，用扎来去进行衔接，构成完整的句子。因此，我们可以看到有布斯拉萨扎、阿比亚格达萨扎，然后呢才是大玛萨，那最后呢再加上句格的结尾黑度巴这那巴这优。那努瓦达巴利随收巴利呢，同样的，首先呢找到它的原法是库萨拉黑度，它的原生法的内容呢的对应找到第三行。那这部分的内容呢，也包含了两个部分。Samba Yuda Kandanang Jida Samutanananja Rubanang。那因为呢，它也包含着两个部分，即是相应注韵和新生注色，所以呢，在它们中间也需要加上一个这来去进行表述。那最后呢，再加上句格，也都把这些呢把这用。
Right. So now we are done with the three answers here, starting from the term kusala. Right. Okay. So now we move into the akusala. So in the akusala, it is like it is the same, right? The almost the same. The difference here is we have the akusalo dhammo and akusalasa dhammasa, like that. So that's the difference here. So the pattern is the same, right? So in the Vidipali, it becomes akusalo dhammo, akusalasa dhammasa. And here it becomes akusalo dhammo. The second one becomes akusalo dhammo, abhyakatassa dhammasa, like that, right? And in the Anuvada Pali, right? So in the Anuvada Pali, it becomes akusala hetu, right? It becomes akusala hetu. The rest is the same as kusala. Right? That the change is only for the kusala becomes akusala. That's all.
好，那我们已经看完了表格当中的第一组的3个答案。那它的语词，它的原法呢是善法的情况。那接下来我们看到第二组之中呢，它也有这样的3种关系。它的原法和原所生法之间呢，它的构成和 第一组是相类似的，只是呢，在第二组之中将第一组的固萨拉变成了阿固萨拉。再者的话呢，在随说巴利之中呢，则是将原法的布萨拉黑度的内容呢，变成了阿古萨拉黑度，由善音呢变成了不善音，其他的内容呢，则是完全一样的。
Now we move into the third term, which is Abhyakata. So in Abhyakata, there is only one answer, right? So in Kusala, there were three. In the Akusala, there were three. I hope you can recall. So in the Abhyakata, there is only one answer. So here, the Pali, it is Abhyakato Dhammo. Abhyakato Dhammo, Abhyakatasya Dhammasa, Hetu Paccayena Paccayo. So get connect is Abhyakato Dhammo, and here it's the Abhyakatasya Dhammasa. Hetu Paccayena Paccayo. Connect it here, right? With the instrumental phrase. It's connected here. And so that is the Vidhi Pali. Regarding the Anuvada Pali, there are two Pali, right? There are two sets. Sorry, not two sets. There are two sentences. So one, it is given as Pavatti. Pavatti means during lifetime, I mean during the life. And Patisandhi means at the moment of conception, right? The moment of rebirth. So there are two separate sentences for these two cases, right? So the first one, we have Vipakabhyakata, Kiryabhyakata Hetu, right? Vipakabhyakata, Kiryabhyakata Hetu. So Hetu had, yeah, so right, we find it here. Vipakabhyakata, Kiryabhyakata Hetu. The Hetu has to be added here. Hetu. Then for the conditioned states, sampayuttakanang khandanang, chittasamuttananang charupanang hetu paccayena paccayo. So there are two types of indeterminants here, which is resultant indeterminants and functional indeterminants. So these two types, they support the sampayutta khanda, right? Sampayutta khandanang. Oh, there is an error here. Now I noticed it. Okay, let me correct it, right? So sampayutta kanang, khandanang, chitta samuttananang, rupanang. So these two types are given here, right? Rupanang, hetu paccayena paccayo. And then for the next one, we have it here, right? Patisandhikkane, at the moment of conception, Patisandhikkane, vipakabhyakata hetu, sampayuttakanang khandanang, katattacha rupanang, hetu paccayena paccayo. So Patisandhikkane means at the moment of conception, there are only the hetu, the roots, they only become vipakabhyakata, which means the resultant indeterminates, right? So that's only there. Sampayuttakanang khandanang, right? So sampayuttakanang khandanang, there's an error here, I will show it. Katattacha rupanang. Katattacha rupanang means the kama bone material, right? Materiality. Hetu paccayena paccayo comes like this. So there is an error here in this table. The full table itself, there is an error, which is here it's sampayutta khandanang is wrong. So it should be sampayutta kanang khandanang. So in this table we have to correct this thing, right? Sampayutta kanang khandanang, right? So here sampayutta kanang khandanang. Right, so like that you have to correct it. Yes.
One question, Bante. So here D means adipati.
I will explain later. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
adipati. Yeah. Yes, it's adipati. I'll explain later.
现在呢，我们来看第三组，在第三组之中呢， 不同于第一组跟第二组。第一组跟第二组呢有3种的关系，而第3组呢只是有1种的关系。那这里的一种关系呢，就是比亚比亚无记对无记的关系。那因此呢，在方法法理之中，我们可以呢找到它的经文的内容呢是如何呈现的，就是比亚阿比亚嘎杜达摩以及呢语词结尾的比亚阿比亚嘎达萨达玛萨，再加上句格的黑度巴真呢巴真优这个呢是它的方法法理。那之后它的随说解释性的法理的内容呢，则分为了2种情况。一个情况呢是生命转起期间，一个情况呢是结生刹那。在生命转起期间呢，作为原法的无记法呢，分为2种，一种呢是为巴嘎比亚嘎达果报无记，一种呢是格利亚比亚嘎达为作无记。那果报无记、为作无记这2种呢，它们一起对三巴尤达干达那吉达三巴塔的南迦鲁巴南，对相应诸蕴及心生诸色，再加上具格的维度巴遮那巴遮优，这是第一种的生命期间。那第二种情况呢，则是在结生刹那，它的原法呢是巴蒂三蒂卡内，也就是结生的刹那。为巴嘎比亚嘎达，它的原法呢只有一种，也就是只有果报的无记法，果报的无记音。所以在这里呢，它的原法呢，在经文当中是为巴嘎比亚嘎达黑度。那它的原所生法呢，在表格当中有个错误，大家要改一下。这里呢，三巴尤达要改成三巴尤达嘎囊。那嘎囊的内容呢，被省略，要加上去。看大囊和大大加鲁巴囊，对相应注音及叶生注色。那再加上句格的内容，黑度把这呢，把这有。
Uh, so regarding this, now you see the in this table, you see the here you see the here we see there's an indicator given as D, right? And what it means as now I told that this table is applicable for all the 7 pachas, right? Not only hetu, all the 7 pachas in the cornerstone small group. So there are minor differences, of course, in between pachas. So one main difference is indicated here, which is in the adipati pacha, in the predominance condition. This part is not there, right? This sentence is not applicable there. So that's what is indicated here. And in the last row, we have the kamma, like there's another phrase here, kamma, and it says chetana vatusa. So that is not applicable for this one. It is only applicable for the kamma condition, right? So we'll discuss about these two when we come to these respective pachas.
Sorry, Pandit, can you repeat the last word? The kama,
Yeah, it says chetana
sahajata,
vatusa. Chetana vatusa.
jidana vatusa.
Yes.
So means its last answer will be different. Bia will be different.
In comma condition that we have this additional sentence.
Additional sentence. Okay.
Yeah, this additional sentence, right? It will be one extra.
好，在表格之中呢，我们可以看到，老师呢用红线圈出来的低增上这个内容，为什么要特定的将它标注出来呢？因为这里面的表格我们看到的所呈现的这7种的答案呢，它适用于在小句声组当中的全部的7个元，但是呢，在这7个元组，在这一个小句声元组的7个元之中呢，句声元的情况呢，有一点不同。 为什么呢？因为它的原法和言所生法的内容在具生的情况之下呢，都是只针对塑形而言的，所以呢，它不会在结生刹那而出现。因此呢，在这里的结生刹那的这一句的巴利的经文呢，在具生增上缘的情况之下呢，则不会出现。那还有就是最后一行的 gama，就是在具生的业缘的情况之中呢，它会多出来一句话，也就是呢它会特别的强调，当它的原法是 Jhāna 的时候呢，它会对应其原所生法的内容为 Vatusa。那这种情况呢，则是相比较于其他的缘而言多出来的。
Right. So, now, do we have any questions here?
大家有什么问题吗？
顶礼尊者，你最后说的这个乐对一处，这是我没有听懂，能不能再给详细解释一下？感恩尊者。
最后一句的这个具声业缘呢，它在上述的这7种关系之这个巴利的语句之后呢，它还特殊的加了一句话出来。
Okay, so is that all? Right.
Yes, one. Yeah, he just asked the one I just explained, so not so clear, so I repeat again.
Okay. So now we will move into the next one. The Okay, we'll use this Word file because there were some small errors which I corrected now, right, in the Pali, right? So we are done with the first pacha, right? The first condition in the uh, in the uh, in this cornerstone small group. So so now the second one we are going to discuss is the Jhāna condition. And why we are learning the Jhāna really is that if we in the order of the pachas, the Jhāna comes at the last, one before the last in the cornerstone small group. But we'll be discussing it here because most of the sayadaws, they teach it in this way because the hetu and Jhāna are almost the same, right? These two conditions, they are almost the same. And and it's easy to learn, right, for the beginner. So that's why we are learning it here, right? So sometimes there is a particular order of the pachas we have which are supposed to learn, but we'll shuffle it here and there for the ease to make the students understand easily.
好，现在呢，我们接下来看下一个缘。那我们首先呢，应当了解到，我们在探讨的是小具声组当中的缘。第一个缘呢是因缘，我们呢已经讲解了它的全部的7种答案的情况。那现在呢，我们来看到的下一个缘呢是禅那缘。为什么我们在因缘之后，首先要看到的是禅那缘呢？实际上，通常的在小句生的缘组当中呢，禅那缘会被放在最后。但是呢，因为因缘呢和禅那缘呢，它的内容呢是相近的，所以呢，我们呢会先去学习禅那缘。实际上，在元组之中呢，元它的顺序都是有特定的排列的，所以呢，在这里呢，只是因为方便的缘故。
Okay, so first we learn the opening the Pali which comes in the Paṭṭhāna Paccaya-niddesa, right? So in the Pali it says Jhāna paccayoti Jhānangani Jhāna sampayuttakanang Dhammanang tan samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ Jhāna paccayena paccayo. So Jhāna paccayoti means the Jhāna paccayo means Jhānangani, the Jhāna factors, Jhāna angani. Anga in Pali means the factors. So Jhānangani means the Jhāna factors. Jhāna sampayuttakanam dhammana means for the Jhāna associated dhammas. Tang samutthānānaṁ sarupānaṁ means and that produce materiality, which are the resultants of the Jhāna factors. For them, Jhāna paccayena paccayo. It supports through the Jhāna condition, like that. So in the Jhāna, there are 5 Jhāna factors, right? 5: vitakka, vicara, piti, ekaggata, right? And then we have the 3 types of feeling, the Vedana, Somanasa, Domanasa, Upekha. So this is really like in some books, it's explained as 7 Jhana, right? 7 Jhana factors by expanding the Vedana Chetasika here, and some it's given as 5. So either way, it's fine. So what we have to understand is that these 5 are the Jhana factors, and they support for the 79 chitta except twin 5 consciousness. So in the twin 5 consciousness, the Jhana Paccaya is not there, and to the 52 chetasikas associated with the 79 consciousness, and the Chitta Jarupa, the mind-born material, and Patisandhi Kamma Jarupa, the point of conception, Kamma-born materiality. So they support in this way.
好，那首先呢，我们来去看到在 Paṭṭhāna Paccaya-niddesa 在原广释之中对于缘的解释。那在这里呢，经文当中首先提到 Jhānangani Jhāna sampayuttakanam dhammanam tam samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ Jhāna paccayena paccayo， 它的原法的内容呢是 Jhānangani， 也即是呢禅那的禅知，安嘎尼的意思呢就是知。那首先呢，我们可以它的原所生
Also,
它的原
excuse me.
yes, Mandy.
I think you have that. You can share you have that. You said you have this note, right? For the Jhana in Chinese.
yes,
You can share it, right?
Jhāna paccaya, okay. 那我们看到这里呢，禅那园的原法呢是5种的禅知。那5种禅知是哪5种呢？即是寻、思、喜、一境性，还有受。好，这里的受呢，它表现为3种，也是呢乐受、忧受，还有呢舍受。那因为呢它是特定的存在于民法之中，所以呢它不会包含有双五识的生识里面的乐受还有苦受，所以呢它的受呢主要是乐受、忧受和舍受这3种。那它的原所生法的内容呢，则包含有79种心那扣除了双五识以外，还有五煞心所，以及呢心生色，还有结生刹那的业生色。那这些的原所生法的内容呢，可以被5种禅知以禅那缘的力量所援助。
So why this Jhāna Paccaya is not applicable for the twin five consciousness? We have to understand this based on the Jhāna Paccaya Sati, which means based on the conditioning force. So what is this conditioning force? It says in the text, it says that it's like observing closely, right? Observing closely something nearby, and which means that it has a kind of a focus on whatever the dhammas, whatever the things which becomes the object. So so regarding the twin five consciousness, we know these consciousness, they are resultant consciousness, and they are weak. And the other reason, and why do they arise? When we come across come across through the objects through the five sense doors, these twin five consciousness arise, right? And they are not very strong, they are weak. So for this consciousness to arise, it does not need the jhana condition, right? So that's why it's not applicable for this 10 consciousness, right?
好，那对于在此的Jhāna Paccaya，那禅那的这种原理呢，它往往呢表现为对于目标的紧密的观察，或者说呢专注于目标。那这里呢，在Paccayuppannadhamma原所说法的内容之中，特定的去除了双五识。为什么呢？因为双五识的升起，往往呢是我们的根门受到五种的所缘的撞击而转起的。那五识的升起呢，相较于其他的心而言，毕竟是较弱的，他们并不具备紧密观察目标的能力，所以呢，在这里要特定的将它们去除。
So the Burmese shadows, they give a simile to explain this jhana condition. So the simile that the shadows are giving is that it's like somebody who is on the top of a mountain, and when somebody is located on top of the mountain, they can see the surroundings very clearly, like that. The Jhāna Paccaya is like that. So that's the simile which is used by the Burmese shadows.
Sorry, Bandy. Like someone on the top of the mountain can see the surroundings.
Mountain. Yeah, they can see the surroundings very closely and clearly, and they can observe the surroundings well, surrounding area well, like that.
So where's the five jhana factors?
Sorry?
In this simile, how to we understand the jhana gani?
No, it's about the simile is given based on the Jhāna Paccaya Sati, not from this side.
OK 吧，好，那对于禅那圆的原理呢，缅甸的长老们他们有这样的譬喻，就像什么呢？就像有人呢，他站在山顶上，可以非常清楚的看清楚周围的一切。
Right. Okay, so now we will move into the Pañhāvara. Right. So in the Pañhāvara, again, at the same method for the hetu, right? For the root condition, we will be learning the summary for the single enumeration, and then we will be expanding it little by little. Right. So in the single enumeration, for the jhana condition, there are 5 conditioning states: vitakka, initial thought; visara, sustained thought; piti, joy; vedana, feeling; and ekaggata, one-pointedness. So here it's the three types of feelings are included in one as feeling, right? And in the conditioned states, we have the associated aggregates, mind-produced matter, and at the moment of conception, comma produce matter, right? So it's almost the same, right? For the like the hetu, it's the same, right? The condition states are same. I mean, like, the names are the same, right? Not the conditions, right? Hetu was applicable for 71 consciousness, rooted consciousness, but here this jhana condition is applicable for 79 consciousness, which includes some of the uh, the ahetuka as well, right? Non-rooted consciousness. So, but pretty much this part is same, right? The conditioning states are different. Of course, here in the hetu, we had the 6 types of hetu, but the condition states are pretty much the same. And the conditioning forces we will be discussing later on. And we have 7 enumerations for jhana. And these 7 are same as the root condition. Right. So that's why it's easy to understand and memorize. Yeah.
那现在呢，我们来看一下对于禅那园它的问分当中的纯数量品的构成，然后呢，我们再去一点点的去进行扩展。在纯数量品之中，有关于禅那园，首先提到缘法呢，包括5种，哪5种呢？Vidaga、Vijara、Vidi、Vidana、Ekagata，就是寻思、喜、受、一境心。那这里呢，虽然受有3种，但是呢，我们将它包含在一起，只是用受来去表示。那缘所生法的内容呢，和因缘的内容是相近的。我们都已经学习过，因缘的缘所生法呢，一共只有71种的有因心，不包含一切的18种的无因心和相应心所。但是呢，在禅那缘之中，它的缘生法的数量呢，则是79种，也包含一些的无因心啊，但是呢，去除了上午时。除此以外呢，都是相近的。那原力的内容呢，我们以后再看。这里给出的数量呢是7也就是呢，它的答案和我们已经学习过的因缘的内容呢是相近的，这样也方便于我们的记忆。
So the conditioning states, we already went through them, the 5 conditions, right? So 5 conditioning states. And we know the feeling, it's divided into 3: pleasure, pain, and equanimity. And we have to understand now some of these conditioning states, right? So the one which is feeling and one-pointedness, ekagata. So these two are universal mental factors, sabhajita sadharana, which means it's applicable for all the 89 consciousness. But we have to have in mind that this because the jhana paccaya is not applicable for the 10 consciousness, right? 25 consciousness. So the feeling and the one-pointedness which arise in these 10 consciousness, in that 10 consciousness, the jhana paccaya is not applicable there, right? So that we have to know. And the other thing is that all of these, right, all 5 jhana factors, they belong to the anya samana category, which means that they are applicable in both wholesome, unwholesome, and functional and resultant consciousness, right? So all 5 have this feature.
首先，我们来看一下这里的缘法。缘法呢，我们已经了解过，它包含有我们提到的5种的禅支。在这里呢，受呢分为3种，也就是我们已经学习过的 有关于心的苦受、乐受还有舍受。应当注意的是，这里在缘法中的受和一境性这两个心所呢，它们属于变一切性心所。那我们知道，禅那缘并不会出现在双五识之中，即使在双五识之中呢，它也会存在有受和一境性这两个心所，但是呢，这两种心所却并不具有禅那缘。那还有呢，就是所有的这5种的禅支，它们呢，以心的种类而言，它们是可以出现在一切类型的心之中，包括像善心，包括像不善心、善心和无记心之中。
Right. Okay. So regarding the conditioning states, right, the jhana factors, there are 3 types, right? 3 types, or we can say 4 types. According to Kusalattika, there are 3 types, which is the wholesome jhana factors, then the unwholesome jhana factors, and abhyakata, which is the indeterminate jhana factors. So what we have to remember here is that because these jhana factors, they are applicable in all these 3 types, they will take whatever the form, which they are applicable to. Say if it arises together with a wholesome consciousness, then it will take the wholesome form. The jhana will take a wholesome form. And if it arises with the unwholesome consciousness, it will take the unwholesome form. And if it arises with an indeterminate consciousness, it will take the indeterminate form. So it's going to be like that, right? So yes.
有关于这里的禅支呢，在这5种禅支当中，我们已经提到过，受禅支可以分为3种，那所以呢，禅支呢一共可以说是7种。那所有的这些禅支呢，它们呢都属于变一切性的心所那以及呢在杂心所的这范围之中，也就是13通一切心所之中。那因此呢，因为它们有些时候会存在于不同的性类的心之中，那禅支它们的性类呢将会从属于所升起的新的类型。比如说出现在善心之中的禅支呢就是善禅支；出现在不善心之中的禅支呢就是不善禅支；出现在无记心之中的禅支呢就是无记禅支。
Right. So I forgot to tell you, right? So this part you have to memorize. Okay. So later it's going to be very helpful once we memorize this part, right? It's easy to memorize, right? Once we memorize one paccaya, then the only thing that you have to memorize is the difference, right? Only the differences that you have to memorize, really. Yes.
那真正的补充一点，对于纯数量品一开始的有关于禅那缘，包括所有缘的缘法、缘生法、缘力、数量这部分的内容呢，大家必须要把它们牢固的记住。
Regarding the condition states, the paccayuppanna, so we know it's we removed the 2 sets of 5-fold sense consciousnesses, and so it's applicable for the only 79 consciousness. And if we compare this with the root condition, in the root condition, when we consider the at the moment of concept consciousness, the rebirth linking consciousnesses, we only took 17 of them, right? 17 of consciousness, 17 consciousnesses, because it's because only 17 are rooted consciousness, right? So the other 2 was ahetuka, the non-rooted consciousness. So only 17 were considered. But in the case of jhana condition, we don't need to remove it. We don't need to deduct those 2 consciousness, and all the 19 rebirth linking consciousness and so I mean the jhana factors associated with these 19 consciousness are taken here.
有关于缘所生法的内容呢，那整体而言，它不包含有上午时，只有呢，除了上午时之外，剩下的79种心及其相应名法、相应诸运在内。此外呢，在我们考虑结生刹那的情况之时呢，于因缘之中，我们需要考虑的是要去排除无因结生的情况，所以呢，要去除2种的无因结生心，只有17种剩下的有因结生时。但是在禅那缘之中呢，那因为呢，所有执行结生作用的19种的识，它们都与禅知相应，也就是它们都会有禅那缘，所以在我们考虑结生刹那的时候，不需要去除那2种的情况。
Right. And the other thing is that all consciousnesses with roots are conditioned by jhana condition, right? That we have to understand, which means that the 71 consciousnesses, they have the jhana conditions, but among these, however, among the rootless consciousness, except the 2 sets of five-fold sense consciousness, the remaining rootless consciousness are conditioned by the jhana condition, right? So, which means that out of the 18 rootless consciousness, for 18, 10 of them are only removed, right? The other 8 consciousnesses, they are conditioned by the jhana condition. So once we have this in place, if we compare with the hetu, the root condition, and we have the question, how do rootless consciousnesses qualify as having jhana condition despite the absence of roots? So in these 8 consciousnesses, they do not have the roots, right? But they qualify for jhana condition. So so again here the answer would be that the jhana condition, it functions in a manner similar to someone striving to reach a destination, right? So if somebody is trying to reach a destination, that there's a kind of a striving to that, right? With an intense effort like that. But on the other hand, in the root condition, it supports the stability and firmness in relation to that goal, which means that what it's done by the root condition is that it supports, it establish some kind of a firmness, a stability to its condition state. So what we have to really understand to get the difference, you have to look into the 8 rootless consciousness which are conditioned by the jhana condition, right? So we'll be going through them one by one.
再有呢，一切的有因心，它们呢，都会拥有禅那缘。但是呢，在无因心之中，如果我们将禅那缘和因缘去进行比较，那一切的无因心呢，它们都不会有因缘。但是呢，在禅那缘之中，在18种无因心里面，除去了双无识以外，剩下的8种无因心，它们则是有可能，它们则是有禅那缘的。那因此呢，如果有人这样问，这些无因心如何在没有因的情况之下还具有禅那缘呢？给予的答案是，禅那缘它的表现呢，类似于某人努力达到目的地，会以强烈的努力朝向目标前进。那或者呢，从因缘的角度上来看，因缘它主要用来表达在缘取目标之时，该心它的稳定性和坚固性。那在无那无论如何呢，我们需要去记住的是， 除了上午时以外的8种的无因心，虽然它们不会有因缘，但是呢，它们是会有刹那缘的。那具体哪8种的无因心呢？我们继续往下看。
Right. So now we'll go through the 8 consciousnesses. So first one is the Hasituppada, which is the smile producing consciousness. So these conditions, this consciousness arise in Arahantas in relation to sense sphere objects, which means that we know we have learned this in the Abhidhamma Sangaha. So the Arahantas, so when they see some events, some issues in the sense sphere objects, right, then they smile, right? So that's one kind of one type of consciousness which have the Jhāna condition, but not the root condition.
那我们继续往下看，哪8种的无因心呢？第一种呢是阿拉汉生效心，阿斯都巴达。那这种心呢，只有当阿拉汉在缘取欲界的目标之时才会升起。那我们应当明白的是，这种心呢，它只在刹那缘之中，是有的，在因缘之中呢是不会有的。
So the next type are the 2 adverting consciousnesses, right? Which is the Panchadvara Varjana. Vajjana, it should be Vajjana. Oh, it's correct, right? Panchadvara Vajjana. And the next one is should be Mano, right? Mano Dvara Vajjana, right? 2 types. So what is done by these 2 types of consciousness consciousnesses is that when the in a stream of consciousness, so what it does is that it directs the stream of consciousness towards a particular object, right? So for that they need a kind of a striving for that, right? So yes, so that's the second type.
第2种类型呢是2个转向心，哪2个转向心呢？五门转向心，还有呢一门转向心。这2种心做什么呢？这些心呢，它们将用于将我们的心从心流之中，从有分心流之中导向特定的所缘，它们呢执行转向的功能。
Right. The third type is the 2 receiving consciousness. So what do these receiving consciousness do perform? They when the fivefold sense consciousness, the twin fivefold sense consciousness, when they take an object, these 2 receiving consciousnesses, they will merely accept it, right? Which they accept the object which is presented by the fivefold sense consciousness, right? So yes.
第3种是2个领受心 ，Samadhi-Chana。那领受心呢，2种呢就是上果报和不善果报的领受心，它们将分别在善和不善果报的午时之后而升起。那它们所执行的功能呢是领受，即是在稍午时过后，紧接着去接受稍午时所呈现的目标。
Right. So the 3 investigating consciousnesses, right? The 3 types of investigating consciousnesses, they will further examine the object, right? Object which are being accepted by the receiving consciousness. So yes.
最后一种呢是3个推度心。那这些的推度心呢，他们将会在领受之后，进一步的去检查所领受到的目标。
So So what we have to understand regarding these 8 consciousnesses is that even though the jhana conditions, the jhana condition is there, but the root condition is not applicable for in these consciousnesses, right? Because for these consciousnesses, they do not require any stability or firmness in their object to take. But so without this support, they can perform their designated tasks without the support of the root condition, right? So that's a special thing about these 8 consciousnesses.
那我们要了解的是呢，这8种的无因心，它们在因缘之中呢是不会存在的，它们不会作为连锁生法的内容。那为什么呢？因为它们不需要去起到坚固和稳定该种相应力法的作用，但是呢，它们却与实质目标存在关联性，因此呢，它们在禅那缘之中可以作为连锁生法。
So so we know that in the through the conditioning force of jhana, there will be 2 types of matter, which is mind produced matter and karma produced matter at the moment of rebirth linking, right?
那么对于禅那缘的元首生法呢，我们也要知道，它包含有心生色法以及呢结生刹那的业生色法这2种类型的色法，它们呢也是作为禅那缘的原生法。
Right. So in the answers, right, in the Pañhāvara for the jhana conditions, in the Pali it comes as Jhāne Satta, which means in the single enumeration of positive method that there are 7 answers, right? So these 7 are similar to the hetu, right?
那因此呢，在禅那缘之中呢，我们可以看到，在问分之中给予的最后的答案是Jhāna Satta。在禅那缘之中呢，有7，那也就是呢有7种的答案，7种的缘法和元所生法的对应关系。这个数量呢，和我们已经学习过的因缘是一样的。
Okay, so now we'll move into the conditions for the jhana conditions, for the analytical states, right? So we still did not look at the Pali, but we can very easily go through this thing because we have already done the hetu. So as the hetu for the kusala terms, there are 3 term endings: kusala, abhyakata, and kusala abhyakata. And for the akusala also same, and for the abhyakata it's also same, right? So that's how the 7 answers are applicable here.
接下来我们一起来看一下禅那缘它的究竟法的相关内容。那这个表格当中呢，它的构成结构和因缘是基本上一致的。那它也因为呢，它也拥有着7种的答案，7种的对应关系。那其实呢，当它的缘法呢是善法的时候呢，有比亚这3种。那同样的，不善法也是如此。那最后一组呢是无记对无记，比亚。
Right. So now we will go through the analytical states here for the condition and the conditioned states. So for the conditioned, for all 3 terms, for the kusala, akusala, and the abhyakata are the same, right? The five jhana factors, because they are applicable in all 3 types, right? The initial application, then the zest, feeling, one-pointedness, like that.
好，那在全部的这3组之中呢，它的缘法的内容呢 都是这5种的产质、寻思、喜受和于静心。
Regarding the conditioned states, there is a it's similar, right? It is similar to the hetupacha, the root condition. The reason being is that for the kusala, right? We know all the kusala, they are rooted, right? So the conditioned states, they becomes the 21 wholesome consciousness and the 38 mental factors, right? And then for the abhyakatas, the term ending abhyakata, then it's the mind produced matter, a similar way, right? And then for the kusala abhyakata, it becomes the associated aggregates and the mind produced matters. This part is similar to the hetupacha. And it is the same case with the akusala too, because we know all the akusala, they are rooted, right? So it is similar here, but there's a minor difference here, of course. Now you can remember in the case of hetupacha, in the case of the hetupacha, did I miss on something? Oh, yes. Yes. So in the case of the hetupacha, in the associated aggregates, we removed the from these 27 mental factors, we removed the delusion in the two delusion rooted consciousness, right? So that's the only difference here, but the others are the same.
在这里呢，它的刹那缘它的缘所生法的内容呢，和因缘当中是相近似的。我们来具体的看一下。首先，当它的缘法是善法之时，它的缘所生法呢，如果也是善法，也是กุ萨拉，那我们会发现它与因缘是一样的，因为呢，所有的这里的善法呢，它们都是有因的。那古比亚。那缘所生法是无记法的时候呢，都是心生色。那孤比亚，那即是呢，包含有善法和无记法这两者的结合。在这一部分呢，它们和因缘基本上是一样的。在阿固这一组别当中呢，我们需要注意的是，首先一切的，所有缘所生法的阿固萨拉不善法呢，它们都是有因的，所以在因缘之中呢，缘所生法的内容呢，也都包含有这一切的不善法。但是呢，在因缘之中，这里的缘所生法的阿固的类型呢，它特别的去除了在痴心中的痴心所，而在禅那缘之中呢，我们不需要去除这种特定的情况。
Right. But regarding the abhyakata, there's a small difference here, right? So in this, there's a difference here. For the paccayadhammas, it's the same for the conditioning state, but in the conditioned states, here we have the 26 types of resultant consciousness, right? In the associated aggregates, there are 26 types of resultant consciousness. What is removed from the total number of resultant consciousness are 36. So the 10 rootless consciousness, the twin-fold, five-fold consciousness, they are removed from here. So that's why it becomes 26. And so which means some of the rootless resultant consciousness are here, right? And regarding the functionals, there are 20 here, right? So which means that we know that in the total number of functional consciousness are 20, right? In the hetupacha, we took only how many? 17, right? The 17, 8, 5, and 4. Yeah. So 17 we took there. But in the case of the Jhāna pacha, we take all 20, right? Which includes the rootless functional consciousness. So that's why it's 20 here. And the 38 mental factors, and then we have the mind produced matter, and at the moment of conception, karma produced matter here.
好，那么对于缘所生法是无记法的这种情况呢，和因缘相比呢，则有些不同。那首先呢，比亚这一组关系之中，它的缘法如果是无记法呢，也依然是这5种的传支。但是呢，作为缘所生法的时候，这里的无记法的内容呢，如果我们具体去看呢，首先在相续诸运当中，它要扣除10种的果报无记心。那也就是在无记法无记心之中呢，只剩下26种。那再有的话呢，剩下的20种的唯作无记呢都拥有。如果我们去和因缘相比较，在因缘之中呢，唯作无记的情况呢只有17种的唯作心，而在禅那缘之中呢，全部的20种唯作无记心呢都有。那38种的心所呢，是一样的，还有呢心生色以及结生刹那的业生色。
Right. So now we will move into the the Sahajāta small group table, right? So what happened here is that now, okay, the corners and small group table, we get it. Okay, you can see it, right? Yeah. So here it was in the hetu paccaya, in the root condition, it was kusala hetu, right? In the Anuwada Pali, it was kusala hetu. But in the Jhāna paccaya, it becomes kusalani jhanangani, like that. Right? So in the case of akusala hetu, it becomes akusalani jhanangani. Then in the case of vipakabhyakatani kiryabhyakatani hetu, it becomes vipakabhyakatani kiryabhyakatani jhanangani. And in the instrumental column, it was hetu paccayena paccayo, and here it becomes Jhāna paccayena paccayo. So that those are the differences which is applicable for the Jhāna paccaya. So which means that if we can remember the structure of the hetu paccaya for the Sahajāta small group table, then we can very easily memorize the Jhāna paccaya too.
好，那现在呢，我们结合因缘的小句生元组表的内容呢，来去了解一下，如何根据表格当中的内容，来去对应到巴利的经文的文句。那以因缘为例，那我们可以看到一开始的呢，他所提到的缘法的内容是古萨拉黑都，然而在禅那缘之中呢。库萨拉黑都将会被替换为库萨拉尼扎南嘎尼。那同样的，不善因阿库萨拉黑都将会被替换为阿库萨拉尼扎南嘎尼。那再有的话呢，像果报无记和为作无记因也应当替换为为巴嘎比亚格达尼吉利亚比亚格达尼扎南嘎尼，以及在最后的句格的这一栏之中，黑都巴吉耶那巴吉尤应当替换为扎那巴吉耶那巴吉尤。那其他的组合方式呢，都是和因缘我们所学习过的内容相类似的。这样的话呢，方便于我们的记忆。
Okay. So now we will move into the Pali, right? So the Pali, it comes first, right? Pali and the translation. Nevertheless, we discuss the other things. So now the Pali we'll go through. It's easy. Right? So kusalo dhammo kusalasa dhammasa jhana paccayena paccayo kusalani jhanangani sampayutakanang khandanang jhana paccayena paccayo. So what really changes from the hetu, it becomes the kusalo the jhana paccayena paccayo, it becomes through the force of jhana conditioning, right? The rest is similar with the hetu paccaya. And here in the Anuvada Pali, here it is Kusalani Jhanangani, right? In the Hetu, it was Kusala Hetu. So the translation is the wholesome jhana factors support to the associated aggregates through the force of jhana conditioning, like that.
那首先呢，我们来看一下禅那元的为板嘎分别的部分。在这里的第一个答案当中，他提到Kusalattika Kusalattika Jhāna Paccaya-niddesa Paccaya Kusalattika Jhāna non-Burmese Jhāna Paccaya Paccaya。好，在这里首先第一句的方法巴利当中所提到的内容呢，和因缘相比，只是把黑度Paccaya Paccaya变成了Jhāna Paccaya Paccaya。那对于随说巴利的内容呢，则是需要将在因缘当中的因呢把它换成禅支所以呢，在这里我们可以看到有Kusalani Jhanangani就是善的禅支，其他的内容呢则是最后的Jhāna Paccaya Paccaya它要替换掉原本的黑度Paccaya Paccaya。
Right. For Kusalattika Abhyakatasa also it has the similar pattern. So I will not go through it much. Same case with the Kusala Abhyakata, right? Kusala Abhyakata.
好，那在善原法是Kusalattika善法的这种情况之下呢，剩下的两种善对善对善、善对无忌、善对善无忌的情况呢，都已经和之前学习过的相近。
Right. So next one is for the Akusala also the same. The pattern is the same. So here, what the difference is that Akusalani Jhanangani, like that, right? So the translation is the unwholesome jhana factors.
第二组关于不善组当中呢，我们也应当看到，就是把前面的善替换成了不善。那在这里呢，在随说巴利当中的关于禅支的部分呢，也需要将其特定的替换为阿古萨拉尼扎南嘎尼，替换为不善因，替换为不善禅支。
Right. So for the three akusala terms, it's the same. And for the abhyakata, so here it becomes vipakabhyakatani, kiriyabhyakatani. Right. So really it should be one here. Vipakabhyakatani. Kiriya. Two. Okay. Yeah. So here it becomes in the kusala it was vipakabhyakata, kiriyabhyakata hetu. So here it becomes vipakabhyakatani and kiriyabhyakatani janangani. So there's a change here to make, like in Pali there are genders in the words. So to match it, it becomes janangani. To match with the janangani, it becomes kiriyabhyakatani, like that. So only the minor the differences that you have to remember. So the rest is the same, right? So patisandikane vipakabhyakatani janangani sampayuttakanang khandanang karatacha rupanang jhana paccayana paccaya, like that.
好，在不善组当中，剩下的部分呢都一样。那最后一组呢，阿比亚嘎多，有关于无忌对无忌的这一组的情况当中呢，我们可以看到，在随说巴利里面，那不同于因缘部分，它所提到的果报无忌，还有为作无忌因，它是以维巴嘎比亚嘎达、提利亚比亚嘎达这一度的方式而说，在这里呢，那它则是将其替换为了为巴嘎比亚嘎达尼、提利亚比亚嘎达尼、扎南嘎尼这样的方式呢而去表述。那到后面部分呢，比如说巴第三地坎内、为巴嘎比亚嘎达尼、扎南嘎尼等等这些的内容呢，我们也应当注意，它是都替换为了产支的部分。
Right. So so in this with that we have completed the Jhana Paccaya 2. So two Paccaya from the Cornerstone small group are finished. So like what I want to really do is to go through all the things that we did, including this Pali, right, and the translation too. So usually in our classes, like when you're teaching the monks, we will translate all the Pali and recite too, but we only meet once a week, so we don't have much time to do everything. So from your side, you have to do a lot of self-study with the note which I shared with you all.
好，那这样呢，我们就学完了在小句生组当中的两个元，因缘和传达元。那对于这些像在分别之中提到的，七种的对应关系的发力的文句呢，大家自己呢要去把它们记住，需要呢在课后自己花一些时间让他们去进行背诵。
Okay, so if you have any questions, we can quickly discuss them.
好，如果大家还有其他问题呢，我们现在可以快速的来看一下。So this question is about the gamma condition. So it's asking why in the chart for gamma condition, the Vajrayana mentioned the Uddhasa. Why it mentioned Uddhasa?
Yes, we'll discuss in when we are in that pacha, right?
Yes, Monday. 好，那现有的这个问题呢，我们将会在后面学业缘的时候专门的去解释。如果是新兽的话，有关于这个同学的问题，如果说是新的兽的话呢，我们统一一下，用新的乐兽是乐兽，新的苦兽是忧兽，新的蛇兽是蛇兽，这样的翻译方式呢比较准确一点，可以自己调整一下，因为这个翻译呢，存在一些细节的问题的调整。Sorry, Bundy, this question is about the Chinese translation. So
Okay,
we just explained, maybe do some revise.
okay. Okay, I think that's done, right?
Uh, uh, one more. Are you answering in Chinese about
Yes, of
the
course.
question? 苦受是生食，这里面的话呢，传纳园没有上午蛇，对，所以的话，在传纳园之中的受产制的这个受，它都是新的受，因此呢，我们采用乐受、忧受和蛇受，我们不需要用乐受和苦受来表示，以避免和生食的受的混淆。OK，班队。
We share merits, right? Oh,
Yes.
is there another question? No, right? In Chinese?
如果显有的这个问题的话呢，您可以回听一下我们的录音。我们解释的是最后的一句呢，它只是在业缘部分才出现，在禅那缘部分也好，因缘部分也好，我们都不用去看，到了业缘的时候我们再看。
Okay, we share the merits. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang parang. Idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satan samagamo hotu yavanibbana pattiya yang pattang kusalang tassa anubhavena panino sabbe saddhamma rajassa ñatva dhammang sukhavahang papunantu visuddhaya sukaya patipattiya asoka manupayasang nibbana sukhamuttamang chirang titthatu saddhammo dhamme hontu sagarava sabbepi satta kalena sammadevo pavassatu yatharakhinsu purana surajano tatevimang raja rakkatu dhammena attanova pajang pajang imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi addhaimaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranamha parimuccissami idang me punyang asavakkayavahang hotu idang me punyang nibbanassa paccayo hotu mama punya bhagang sabba sattanang bhajemi te sabbe me samang punya bhagang labhantu Buddha sasanang chirang tithatu Buddha sasanang chirang tithatu Buddha sasanang chirang tithatu Sadhu sadhu sadhu. So we also share merits which we accumulated, all the merits to all the beings, the humans and all the other beings in Myanmar, and may all of them be free from suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So please allow me to translate Pandi. 请大家也将一切的善意功德分享给在缅甸的灾情之中经受痛苦的一切的有情众生，愿他们也能够早日离苦得乐。Thank you for Buddhist teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you for the translation. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.